Welcome back to our Health and Science Focus today. And of course, we've been talking to the experts about what happens, why sleep is important, what is happening to our minds and our bodies while we sleep or while we're not sleeping. What's the damage that's being done? Well, let's talk to somebody who's actually going through this, who is battling with something. Well, neurophysiologist and insomniac Irene Masters was diagnosed with insomnia after an attempted robbery. She joins us now to share that personal story, how it's affected her and how she manages her sleep disorder, and also while she helps others deal with the same thing. Irene, thanks so much for your time and thanks for coming in to share with us. So tell us what happened. What sparked this all off for you?
Well, I actually think it started a long time ago when I had my children. My babies were all colicky. They were awake every 2 hours. As a young person, I slept very well. I could go to bed at 7 and sleep until the next morning. I was one of those people that could sleep.
Loved your sleep.
And then, of course, having children, that throws out your sleep and you just permanently feel tired. So I think all the moms can relate to that. But having studied neurophysiology, I knew to try and get good sleep hygiene into place, you know, to try and not be up late at night, try and get sleep whenever I could. But what really triggered the bad insomnia for me was after about 16 years ago, I was working a night shift at a hospital and I was stopped at a robot and 2 guys attempted to hijack me. Luckily, somebody was behind me, but they smashed my window, grabbed my bag, and so that event really sparked a fear in me of, you know, just the trauma of seeing the face, seeing blood in my car, you know, and I drove myself to the nearest hospital, basically, because there was glass everywhere. But that just sparked a cycle of anxiety, and also related to my job, the kind of work where we're often working long hours interpreting data or looking at data of patients, also makes it then difficult to switch off.
Well, how ironic is that? That you're helping.
Because I was studying at a later age. I furthered my studies. I was always studying or doing courses, working. And so I just got used to, oh, well, I can't sleep anyway. So I fill that up with work and studies and things like that,
So what's happening to you? I mean, it's like maybe 7, 8, 9 o'clock. You're preparing to get to bed. You get into bed. And then what happens? What's the life of an insomniac?
I don't ever try and go to sleep that time anymore.
Well, whenever it is,
I'd probably go to bed most nights at about midnight because I work. That's my time when you're doing a lot of other things.
So you're that owl person that Dr. Bentley was talking, the owl.
So I would do a lot of my work at night, sitting interpreting data when it's quiet and there's no distractions, because unfortunately, in the past few months, my husband was diagnosed with a brain tumor, so a lot of illness and visits to hospitals and doctors, and so your day is filled with taking care of family needs, going to doctors, going to hospitals, and then still working. So then by the time you get to bed, your brain is just so overstimulated that you just can't relax and go to sleep.
How is it affecting your day-to-day function? How is it affecting you during the day?
Definitely my memory. I found that my memory has been affected, my concentration, my focus. But fortunately, because I do, excuse me, I just need a sip of water.
Sure, no problem. And I'm sure that's also a lot to do with not getting the kind of rest that you need and just the body not working the way it's supposed to during the day. So the day in the life of you, Irene.
So then you toss and turn. But what I've learned to do is, fortunately, there is very simple, practical things, and I think that's what helps.
Share with us for others who are. What do you actually do?
So if I go to bed and I'm often think, oh, I must remember to do this and I must remember to do that and I must phone this doctor or do this, and then your mind can't switch off, because the minute I'm not busy, then I'm thinking of all the things I've still got to do and plan. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. Their daily life, and your mind can't relax and say, go to sleep, because you're thinking of all the things you've got to do or you haven't done or you must phone. So I actually keep a diary next to my bed. And when I can't sleep, I get up and I jot down everything that I want to remember. So it's a simple thing like that. A lot of people, for years I never kept a diary. Now it's a simple thing. You write it down and your mind can relax. And say,
so you're not stressing about what it is you have to remember later.
And then once I've written all of that down, my mind can relax and I can fall asleep. So that's one of the tools.
Do you take medication?
I take circadian, which again is a natural melatonin, just to try and get me into that more of a natural circadian rhythm. And that does help, you know, but it's not something you take long term. Every now and then I'll take a bit, and then you go off it again. But you've got to use that in conjunction with just natural things, because sleeping pills, which I have had to take from time to time, make me feel very hungover the next morning.
It's
you
not a
wake
nice
up
feeling.
and then you like, your daytime function is terrible. And we've got to function at a very high level. You know, first of all, taking care of your family, also, you know, being with patients, you've got to make sure that you are rested in the day, that you are
on top of your game
all the time. So you can't afford to feel tired and wake up. So for me, I think more looking at the solutions and putting those into practice. And they're not that difficult. Like the diary is one little thing, but there's a lot of natural sleep hygiene things you can practice, such as not being in front of your computer.
No coffee at night.
Not drinking coffee after 12 in the afternoon. You know, there's a lot of things you can do just to help yourself. Of course, getting rid of the stress, managing...
Exercise? Does it play a big part?
Exercise is great. Meditation, you know, I do meditate as well.
Sleepy music, I play a lot of that for myself and my kids to fall asleep. And it does work, just that kind of music to help you go to sleep.
Because I'm also a spiritual person, prayer helps me, you know, when I can't switch off, I meditate, I pray, you know, and all those things are good ways to try and help with insomnia.
All right, Irene, thank you so much for sharing, and I wish you all the best, and your husband as well with that diagnosis. Thank you so much, and I hope you get some sleep, some proper sleep soon. You know, speak to Nira, help you at the office as well. Thanks so much, Irene Masters, just sharing with us what she's going through. As somebody who works in the field, she's an expert herself, and she battles as well. So we're not alone, us non-sleepers. In a moment, I'll be talking to sleep and fatigue consultant. Yes, that does exist. JD Ace is going to be joining us.